What's up, and welcome back, fellow Siege spectators and players. And we are back for another day of Element 4 coverage here on the Siege Double Shots. I am Whiskey Run, and normally I would be here with my casting partner, Whiskey Glitter, who unfortunately not able to be. But fortunately for you, Vi is able to fill in for him. So welcome, Vi, to the channel. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you so much for this amazing opportunity.
Really looking forward to this today because we get the opportunity to cast the seeding match here. We already have the top two teams qualified here for Element 4, and it is time to find out who is number one, who is the best, and it is a pair of great teams that have made it this far. So I want to quick take a look at that bracket. Yesterday, we got a chance to do the upper bracket semifinals with Mormon Leadership taking on TSG Gold, and Jesse J did the match below with Pew 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 taking on the Friendship Team. You can tell who made that qualification. The Friendship Team, if you are unfamiliar, is the XLG roster. And we definitely want to talk about that for a second. So, I know some of you may be wondering why is Luminosity, the XLG roster here under Friendship Team? Why were they not an invited team? And it all comes down to timing. Unfortunately, LG was a pro team as the invited teams were set up for Element 4. I think it would have been likely they would have got an invite as a T2 team after their Pro League contract was done, but because of the timing, they had to go through the qualification and they did it. They made it along with this TSG roster who has had an incredible run. And to be honest, Vi, the map bans for this team is looking very, very good, I think, for TSG.
I am absolutely excited to see these two teams face off. And I'm not going to lie, if we were to get to that decider map, I'm definitely going to be interested to see how the friendship team is able to handle this TSG roster because of the fact that if we take a small look at how they played later in the bracket, TSG Gold has just absolutely dominated when it comes to Skyscraper. So that being a decider map may be really close into this this game. Seeing Layer almost be able to slip through to be picked, unfortunate that it was banned out by friendship team. It definitely would have been interesting to see and cast. It definitely would have been a pleasure. But I'm not gonna lie, something that I'm really interested to see is TSG Gold with their first map ban being Nighthaven. Normally, that's such a covenant and absolutely beautiful map that every pro team loves to see and wants to bring to their map pool. But banning it straight off the bat, definitely an interesting choice.
I think TSG was worried about having to play Luminosity on a map that they are very good on, is probably what it comes down to. It left Border, and I think Sky is one of those maps that is definitely dangerous to take a great team to. So maybe they were hoping it would end, or that the Friendship team didn't really understand how good TSG had been on that map recently. So the good news is for us, though, is that this is it. I mean, the map is ready, the teams are ready, and it is time to get into it, my friend.
Absolutely. We are our first map. Don't be a little bit confused by that flyover. We are definitely not going to Skyscraper first. That is our decider. We are going to be going to
Classic.
Border. We are going to be going to Border first, which is definitely one of those maps that are so small that it's just when things are happening, it's right after the other. It's such a small map, and having to play off of each other is essential for these teams.
That's right. And one of the things we saw yesterday, and for sure throughout all of Year 9, Season 3, has been the shields and the shield bans as a part of it. And TSG Gold really struggled against the Blitz on one of their previous maps. They played earlier in the semifinals and the quarterfinals yesterday. So for them to take Blitz out, I think is a good call. And then obviously, Friendship team not wanting to deal with shields either. Monty's so good as a part of basically every map. He has had nearly 100% ban rate here at the end of Year 9, Season 3. So everybody anxiously anticipating the changes coming Year 9, Season 4 with the changes to the shield mechanics. So Valk going to be the second one, and really, it certainly feels like based on yesterday throughout all of the E4 quals, Azami almost certainly going to be the fourth.
Seeing a zombie ban here on Border is so common. Same thing with the Valk. There's so much vertical play, and a zombie brings so much. Where how she can just change the bomb site and make it however they want. They want to play it aggressive. She can be brought and play into CCTV, extend that roam, extend play aggressive on those doors. Or if you want more of a laid back, she can do that. She can give you more cover, more places to hide, be more sneaky. She is such a powerhouse, especially on border. With that being said, though, we are now loading straight in to the first round. Gonna first site is going to be upstairs. Very default, very common for most teams to be going up here. Most likely gonna have a small bit of an extension here. How they are gonna play it, they might play it a soft roam here, try to get a pick and back off, or they might just try to keep up the aggression, get a pick, and try to keep going after it.
Yeah, I love everybody starts on the 2F Armory archives here on Border. That seems to be nearly 100% of the time. Yesterday during the semifinal, we saw TSG and Mormon Leadership play on this map. That went to 8-7 double overtime to start it off. And TSG had a heck of a run. They ended up at one point getting 4 in a row on their attacking half. So very much an attacker-sided map. TSG very good on attack. And I think for me, we're generally focusing a little bit here on the TSG side just because they're absolutely the underdogs in this match, right? You're coming in taking on an absolutely a pro league team that just doesn't have a pro league contract right now. They're certainly the underdogs in this match, even if they were able to put up a good day yesterday.
Absolutely, and I still have a feeling that TSG, we take a look at how, no offense to the old LG roster, but they were not quite the best in the NA. I mean, they weren't the bottom of the barrel. I'll give them that. They're only winning two games in their season, but like TSG Gold, they do have an opportunity to win here, go up against this powerhouse and show that, they are something to be reckoned with, and I hope to see more of this matchup as, Element 4 does keep going on. And of course, if they were able to win this, everybody is just lining themselves up, waiting for an execute. As it's happening, phone call goes out. Dokkaebi trying to create a little bit of a casus here, running up metal. They're just gonna run straight into sight. Chaos is absolutely happening. We are gonna get a knife. Zombie gonna try to equalize
Oh,
here.
wow. Boy,
Coming down to a 3v2.
they have absolutely started to equalize this. Unbelievable to see a melee to start this all of that chaos off, but that's a diffuser going down from Eddie. You still have got more than half this round left.
Is gonna be stocked, gonna run out from CC, gonna be holding the diffuser now, and now it is just Wi-Fi outside of the vents window in this almost unwinnable, and there it is. Sonky gonna go ahead and get the headshot as the warning to finish this off. Ying is no use against him.
Yeah, Ying is another operator we see banned all the time, especially for some of these quick executes for border. With it being attacker sided, I think the friendship team they ran in right to start that off with a melee kill. I think we didn't get a chance to see how that one worked out, but to me says that they're expecting to be aggressive. They're planning on quick entry into the building. They were, had a couple scenes where we're seeing them get set up, but certainly pushed in very aggressively. TSG, though, responded, shut that down, and potentially maybe a little bit better defense than what they were expecting. So this is the first round in a best of 3 between these two teams. So there's plenty of time and plenty of opportunity to see how this is going to play out. But these first couple rounds are going to definitely set the pace in how it's going to play out.
Absolutely, and with the way that they were just setting themselves up, just waiting and just communicating with each other, trying to figure out how, friendship team wanted to push this. They waited and they executed it. It was almost so good. They were able to get into the site, but I don't think they were ready for someone to just to be playing on half wall, ready for that rush up metal. Like, they were able to communicate perfectly to be able to equalize that and bringing it down to a 3v2. I think it would have been a lot better if they could have tried to equalize it, bring it down to a 2v2 before trying to get that plant down, but hey, I'm not no pro player, so maybe they know something I don't. With the round is starting, though, they are going to be in bathroom, and bringing that fuse to probably get, to go upstairs, get rid of a lot of that utility is probably going to be the game here for them. get workshop control and see exactly how this team wants to try to execute. But as I say that, Wi-Fi getting dropped, that's the Ying off the board. And that is such a powerhouse of an operator to get rid of with 4 Candelas. There's so much utility just off the board already.
Yeah, you said it. Tons of utility off the board. Unfortunate there for this team. Right now, TSG Gold doing a great job of setting up and holding. Like to set this the combination of the smoke, and I know we were seeing this a lot yesterday as well. The shield on the fuse, and here he is getting the plant down right now with all of that utility in pocket. Not even using fuse as the utility, using it just for the shield.
Yeah, absolutely. And just a flurry of kills. We are in this post plant. We are in this post plant, but Zonky gonna pick up 2. That's gonna kill the buck that was on the lurk and the fuse that planted. They are gonna try to attempt this defuse here, trying to get more aggro on this. He is gonna get one that was upside down repel, and now it is a 1v4, and the fuse is coming out. Is he gonna be able to stop it? He's not, because Right is right there on the window with the shotgun with his name on it. That's 2 rounds for TSG Gold.
2 rounds that we saw friendship team here, and I'm gonna go back and forth on what name we end up calling this team. But 2 rounds that we've seen them absolutely focus on the objective-based gameplay, going for the plant, and TSG able to put a stop to it. Previously on upstairs, they were getting the plant down. TSG stopped it mid diffuse. In this case, friendship team did manage to get the diffuser down, but unable to successfully defend it. They didn't have enough coverage in play, and with 4 of the TSG players still left alive, it was plenty to throw out even on the upside down rappel, especially that combination of the smoke, who was able to walk up into the smoke very closely to be able to take the shot on the repeller. So great defense here by TSG. I feel like they have lots more opportunity to study the playbook of a professional team that has had their VODs, has had their strats out there for a very long time. This one looking good for them. And again, we're playing for the 1st and 2nd place seeding here in Element 4. In qualifier number 1, the 1st place team gets to play the 8th place team in the invited team. So there's a lot at stake between the qualifiers in terms of what position you're going to end up in.
Oh, most definitely. And it almost seems like, Friendship, they might be trying to figure out exactly, what kind of aggressive strategies might work and what is not. And, it was really smart that they brought out, the Thatcher here to stop any like C4s that might be coming through. But I don't think they were quite ready to deal with the smoke and how aggressive. Most time you see smoke players, they try to lay back and, let the smoke do the work. But the smoke was up and active, which isn't really something that you see too often. But with that being said, they are going to see if they can try to get into the building, trying to get themselves into Passport here. And it seems like they're not trying to go for any more cheeky type rush, trying to play more methodically, try to clear out the roam, get a couple picks before they try to make their way to the bomb site here.
Talk a little about the utility usage too. That Fuse managed to walk in, get the plant down, not use any of that utility. This time though, we're going to see a little bit of it working from the Flores drones coming out and the Twitch as well, right? So I think friendship team recognizing, all right, maybe we need to take it a little bit more seriously. It is still a seeding match. Both of these teams have qualified for Element 4. They are in, absolutely. The question is maybe a little bit of ego, maybe a little bit of placement between them. So we'll see how this team and this sort of adapts between it. But my guess is TSG putting everything they've got into this one to showing up against this squad.
Wi-Fi getting such a beautiful wallbang into Office. That's going to get rid of the Bandit, and Solus was picked up a lot earlier in the round, making this a 5v3. And now, it seems like they've woken up. Friendship has realized, hey, we can't go for these cheeky kind of plays anymore. We have to be methodical about this. And it is working out really well in their favor. But do they know Zonky here is at top metal? Gonna be trying to go for a run out here. Gonna stop the Claymore, but nothing's gonna happen. Nobody was there for him to try to hit. Gonna hit the Claymore, and are they gonna be able to get this kill off it? They aren't, but now they know that somebody is playing in break. But Zonky,
no way,
trying to equalize, gets as a kill. They do know that he's down in bottom of Passport. Are they gonna be able to deal with them? Zonky does go down. trying to equalize this, but no, we got we got
Zaki
kicks.
down. This is definitely, they needed to pick him up. They needed the two players to try and take on this four-player squad that's surging. But right now, it's one of the things that I think TSG struggled a little bit with yesterday was the vertical control, able to hold on and fight through that. The LG did a little bit better job this time of managing both the up and a down play against this team. So sort of maybe they need to make that adaptation. They got maybe not playing against the T1 teams yesterday. Were able to let that kind of that kind of strategy slip through their fingers, but today they need to be a little bit better about it. And friendship team showing them why there is they take their first here on attack on that tertiary site.
Absolutely beautiful play coming out here from Friendship Team. You know, working together. I think they had a flawless round. No, they didn't. They almost had a flawless round, but they were being a lot more methodical with their push and how they wanted to, you know, take the site. Will they be able to be a little bit more methodical when it comes to this main upstairs, you know, archives and armory kind of take? Are they gonna try to be cheeky again, try to go for those quick executes? That is definitely what I'm interested to see. I would love to see Friendship, you know, be more methodical because it worked so well for them last round and not try to go for these, you know, oh, look at this, we're just going to rush because we have better gun skill, which obviously showing that they don't.
Yeah, right now it's feeling sort of evenly matched between these two. Obviously, though, Kicks with a 5-2 has had a great run here to start this game off, and the Armory Archives upstairs, the best opportunity that the defense have generally on this attacker-sided map to try and hang on. TSG is able to win here and pick up 3 on the opening map of this best of 3. I think they're going to be very happy with that to start with, but not content. No, like we said, we know that this team is looking for the win here today. So both of those mirrors going up, going to hold on to the office and that west side breach.
Absolutely, and we are in round 4, so seeing a friendship team here is trying to at least get a 3-3 half, and they're going to be really happy about that. But if they can walk away with a 4-2 half, they are going to have such an amazing time when it comes to here on defense. But if you're TSG Gold, you don't want to drop another of your defensive rounds. Sure, this map, you know, when it comes down to it, depending on the teams, you're a better attacking team, better defending team. But when it comes down to it, you want to have your defenses locked down. You're playing attack, all you're doing is adapting and adapting and adapting. When you're defending, you have to stop them from adapting, which hopefully they're figuring out how to do that. They are rotating some of their players back to the site, try to defend it. They do got the main wall open and smoked off, but they do have a warden. But is the warden going to stay in archives, or are they going to rotate the warden over to play on the armory side?
Right now, I'm seeing a great push here from the friendship team, obviously, but spread out, right? A little bit of east pressure, a little bit of main breach pressure, a little bit of the security break pressure. So, and you can see on the east side there, Ghost, they're this TSG team having to check and make sure that nobody's in the hallway standing watching. So they're putting pressure all across the map on this team, and I think hoping to upset, maybe the underdogs here, give them a little bit something to worry about everywhere, force a 1v1 that they could potentially win with gun skill. Right now, Dami may be the spoiler here, the only guy from this TSG team playing downstairs on the first floor.
But, ooh, Rai is going to get picked off by Nick. And there comes another one. Kick's going to find another. It's now a 3v5. They got the fuse again just for that shield. And Hectic, he gets picked off on the wall. That's going to stop him. And it's going to be Kicks that's going to finish it all off. Just shows how strong the shield meta is, even though both of the main shields, both Blitz and Monty, are off the board. They are still bringing that fuse shield, and it is just so strong.
Yep, a little bit surprising that, again, we're not seeing him being used for Fuse as the primary utility, using him just for the shield. I think you said it, right? Shows just how strong the shield mechanic is in the current meta of Siege. So interesting that TSG's not going to go back upstairs to the 2F site. They're going to go ahead and keep the site rotation in practice and go downstairs to that first floor. bathroom tellers as opposed to trying out that second floor again. So maybe they had good success down here, even though LG was able to get the plant down. Um, TSG was able to answer back pretty quickly and win that one in a 4v1 at the very end. So got to stay alive to try and force those kind of engagements, and they struggled with it a little bit on that last round, number 4. So tied up 2-2 is looking very good for TSG to start. Friendship team here has made a strong claw back in as we head into round 5.
Absolutely, and we see that they're switching off of their entire lineup to a completely new one. And honestly, seeing the Damos get picked off over for an ace is kind of an interesting thought here, especially from Kix, because Kix has been popping off, trying to switch off of I know some people like to think of Ace as like a flex player, but I like to think of, Ace as more of a support. So switching off like a fragging op to a more supportive op is definitely an interesting play. And bringing the Blackbeard, got to get a little bit more of that play right before that rework comes out. So you're not going to be able to see too much more of this kind of gameplay. So it's nice to see a little homage before he has fully gone away. The Flores drone is going to be coming in top east, try to get rid of that barb, try to get rid of that utility, and we do have a fused shield again. But are they actually going to take Fuse upstairs and use that utility, or is it just here for the shield again?
Yeah, great question. I think it's shield definitely the important part. Eddie just loving that, but so far not contributing from a kill perspective very much. Still sitting at that 1 and 2, but if he's the guy that's getting the plant down, eating some of that. Speaking of eating, Wi-Fi absolutely shredded there by Vipoa. So, and the smoke slowing down this entry. We're a minute, almost halfway into this round, a minute and a half left, and still working on just getting in the building right now for the Friendship team.
And we are seeing a fight going on here on Mezzanine, but the fuse is going to go down. Zonky picking up 2, picking up the fuse and the Blackbeard that was right behind him. Nick in a 1v5 trying to figure out what happened to his team. Everybody just seeming to just instantly die. It seems that TSG Gold has figured out what is happening, what is bringing to the roster, and Zonky's going to finish it off.
A flawless?
Absolutely beautiful from TSG.
Yep, it looked like it was a bit of a slow start there for the Friendship team. I know you talked about it early on that it seemed like they were, started off very strong, aggressive entry. We talked about that during 1 and 2. Seemed like they had slowed it down just a bit. There on the 5th round, slowed it down even more, and it seemed like TSG punished them for that again. A couple great shots there to help kick things off, at least with that initial pick from Vipoa, but sort of fell apart after that and running a little bit slower. I almost like to see this team go back to putting more pressure on TSG and trying to upset them, right? Again, as the underdog, I think they've got a little bit of the opportunity to try and push in. But right now, this TSG Gold team is playing really well against the Friendship team.
Oh, absolutely. And you got to think it is, even though that both of them have qualified here and this isn't like an elimination, you got to think how much pride is going to come from TSG Gold being like, hey, we just beat the XLG roster to take first place seeding, which is, such a huge, like, bragging rights in a sort here. But, wanting to win, definitely showing that you are not somebody that can be easily pushed over is definitely one of those important things for TSG Gold. Even if they don't win, they are showing that, hey, we're not easily trifled with. You can't just walk over us and think that, hey, you're not going to get punished for it. They punished them the first 2 rounds that they tried to do that, and look where we are now. We are now in a 3-2, and if we can get one more round out of their defense, they're going to be happy with that 4-2 half.
I think TSG is going to be ecstatic with a 4-2 half on a attacker-sided map against this XLG roster. To be able to put up that kind of a game to start off this best of 3, certainly I think they're going to be incredibly happy with. So the first defender at least goes down. Legion downed but not out yet. So, Doc coming in clutch. I know that's one of the ops that we've sort of been on the fence about. Whiskey Glitter for sure, definitely on the fence about Doc. Sort of the cheese pick in general, but right there survives, keeps Legion alive, and he's able to stim himself back up. So that's 160 HP he's able to then recover for that team, and allowing and another Vipoa. We saw a lot of C4 kills recently, so we got to keep an eye out for those as they continue to be an important part of the defensive meta.
Absolutely. And when you look at the who was taken out, two big mainstream operators were just taken out. Warden to help against those smokes. And if there was a Ying, I would say to help against the Yings, but the Ying also absolutely taken off the board. And I'm pretty sure the Ying still had, I'm pretty sure Nick still had all four Candelas in pocket. So that's so much utility just gone already. But they do have a chance here to still be able to, try to get a plant off here. They do still have two smokes on the fuse to try to go for a smoke plant here with absolutely no intel coming in or any kind of denial except for their guns for TSG Gold. But we do see Friendship Team here kind of stalemating here, stalling out time, not quite sure what they want to do. They are going to have to try to deal with this Mira.
Oh,
Gonna see if they can try to get a kill.
how did he survive?
Almost gets him through the smoke, but he is taking Legion traps. But here comes some kills. Wi-Fi gonna be able to pick up one, giving them a small little advantage, but not too much. We do see here that they are just trying to play off of each other, try to play off the angles, not trying to overswing. With 30 seconds left into the round, it's just going to be an explosion onto the site. They know, they hear the Legion's mines going off. They have an idea of where this team wants to try to push. They just haven't got themselves quite in the site yet. Still trying to fight, but as I say that, Vipoa finds Eddie on the fuse. That's the diffuser down. We got one down. It is a 3v2 basically what's happening with no time on the clock. And there we go. That is Vipoa closing up the round. And that is a beautiful 4-2 half from TSG Gold.
Yeah, you called it. Beautiful half for that team to be able to set down and show up like that. And Vipoa really had, two downs there at the end. He should have had one extra kill in his column and is just unstoppable right now. His hold there behind the deployable shield on the armory side, being able to cover both the entry from the top east stairs and the main breach, it just unbelievable. And even though we sort of it looked like we were going to see the LG execute happen on the main breach side with a little bit of pressure from east, it all sort of fell apart as Vipo was able to take down two of those players. I mean, they needed to shut him down. That deployable, a piece of defensive utility that just never got cleared out, enabled him to make that happen. And you said it, 4-2 half, incredible there for TSG. And they've been very, very good on attack, on attacker-sided maps and on defensive-sided maps, both on border and on Skyscraper, which we're going to see a little bit later. Have been powerhouses for this team. So this was their map pick. They started this thing off. They wanted to go to border. So we're expecting them to be very good here. But I think they absolutely have to win to try and maybe take this thing to 3, because it's very likely Friendship Team, this LG squad, is going to be very good on their map pick of KAFE coming up.
Oh, absolutely. KAFE is one of those maps that's, there's 3 floors. It's got to be so methodical and so planned out every step of the way. And we have seen it from Friendship. They have that ability to do so, but they are just, unfortunately, they're stalling out. They had the perfect mix of aggression and, trying to be methodical here, but now we're in this situation where they're stalling out too much. And I'm hoping that TSG here doesn't make the same mistakes. I hope that they can keep the aggression that they've been getting at, and hopefully we'll be able to see an easy round for them.
That's right, 5-5 tied up here, and so now we get the opportunity to see how TSG is going to handle the attack. What were they bringing? So bringing along the some of the explosive assets there of the Ash and combination of the Hibana, but also I like using the Twitch to try and clear out some of this utility, though. Here, 1 minute into the round, though, they were all gone, already taken care of, so the Friendship Team here doing a good job of managing the attacker utility as well.
Ash trying to push their way up into this office side, but not being able to get anything. Fenrir is Fenrir's gonna back up here, play Canadian, try to see what he can get, not trying to overextend, not trying to stay his visit too long. Ash is going to get heavily tagged. Just going to be trading hits for hits. No kills yet. With a minute still left into the round, a lot of utility is coming out, trying to get these players out of their positions. They do know that someone is playing in break, are going to have a close engagement, but he looks away at the last second. Hectic is gonna be able to collect onto the first and a second onto Wi-Fi, giving them a lot of room here. As you can see, TSG Gold noticing that they have this room now, rotating over, trying to take this control. 40 seconds left, and we are now in a 5v3.
5v3, you said it. No, almost 30 seconds left between them, and right now TSG, they've got the man advantage, but you still have to convert that into a round win by either taking out these last 3 defenders or finding a way to get that diffuser down. And you've got to worry about Silent, Nick, and Eddie all still alive and holding on to those power positions in the site, in addition to Silent downstairs, hoping to try and get a C4 maybe from below, or an attack from below, play the vertical. Looking good right now.
Absolutely chaos is happening in the site. It is a 1v3 in a sense, 1v2 because the Buck is down. Nick did drop, but he didn't have a C4, so he couldn't stop the plant. He should have just stayed where he was, but now he's got to try to recollect on his position here. Has an idea where one's playing. He has the Warden, so he can stop any flashes. Doesn't have to really worry. Here's one jumped out the window, but remember, there is still 7 seconds to defuse, and Zonky gonna kill Nick in saving the KD of the Buck. I don't know who was down.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but in that case, it didn't matter, as TSG wins their first attacking round here against the XLG team, and 5-2 to start this thing off. Boy, they should be feeling very good about the way this one is running. Again, if you're just joining us, welcome everyone here to the Element 4. We are in the first and second place seeding match here between TSG Gold and the X Luminosity roster. This is both of these teams have qualified for Element 4. They are going to face off against the invited teams as we start Phase 2 in December. But right now we need to figure out which one of them is going to be the number 1 and number 2 seed. That's what's going to be happening during this best of 3 today. So right now TSG in map 1, putting up a very good fight on defense, and at least to start off here on offense. Friendship team now is also going to take not do an ego check back upstairs, follow the standard site rotation, and take it back down to that first floor bathroom tellers here for their second defense.
I will say though, seeing the Capcan be brought out, hoping to catch one of these TSG Gold players off guard, it might actually work, but we are going to be seeing how they are playing, and I love seeing when I don't know what it is, but I love seeing Frost players understand that if they slightly move their Frost mats to the side of a window, it is harder for people jumping in to get a free pick on that Frost mat. I don't know. Maybe I'm biased. Maybe I'm a Frost man. But I love seeing stuff like that because it's the little details. Really know that they know their operators. They know what they're doing and how they want to play. We do see here that, TSG Gold, they're not going to go for anything cheeky here. They are just going to drone out the side, try to get rid of some of the utility here. Going to be very methodical team about this. We are going to see a little bit of a roam coming from Friendship 7. I think they got 3 people off site right now. Got one playing over by CC, one in break, and one over by office side. They're going to try their best attempt to stop anybody from entering this building, and the Finra is definitely someone that's going to be causing a lot of problem here. Going to swing up that contact, try to prevent any of that utility. Kicks, my bad. Gonna get one onto Zonky as he jumps in from Mezzanine. Wi-Fi being able to get another one through the vertical, and we are in a 5v3, and they have barely even entered the building. Kicks gonna get another one from Mezzanine. He's just a monster playing in this position.
Yeah.
Still, they have yet to get rid of any of this utility.
Yeah, and I'm not sure right now they're even going to have an opportunity. Right, they're trying to find some entries, trying to find maybe an angle on this LG team, but it's just falling apart. Couple great shots there, like you said, coming out from kicks. Couple great shots coming out from Wi-Fi as well, playing on the frost, and you said it right. The little details makes all the difference in the world right now. TSG falling into some of those traps, and even though they still have a little bit of utility, they still have 3 Flores drones. You still have got Osa with both of her shields available, but I don't think that Osa was the right pick here, not really helping, and it is all sort of fallen apart here for this team in a 1v4. Kicks another huge one, triple kill for him.
Absolutely. Cake's just staying up here and undrone, unprovoked. They're trying to have to face check everything. They don't, which doesn't really make sense. They have drones in their pocket. They're not droning. Letting him just be able to get away, and there is a Frost that's still playing up here, trying to see if they can get some kind of other pick. But will they be able to? Will Dami be able to find anything? He's face checking everything. Gets shot from Nick on Mezzanine, and that's gonna end the round.
It's one of the things about the Oryx. Don't see him played in competitive very often, but his ability to traverse the map as the fastest operator in Rainbow Six Siege certainly gives him that ability to change the floors and make that rotate very quickly. So, no, we were talking up this TSG team to start off with, going into start of round 8 at a 5-2, but 5-3. And what was a lot cleaner round there from the friendship team, I think is going to make this difficult. So TSG still has got to come up with something special to continue their fight, their claw back here, to try and keep that lead and go into round 9. We go down to the second first floor site, generally the third, if you want to call it that here, Vent Workshop. And what I see from this defense, bringing out the Vigil and the Boss G, and I think that's been sort of controversial. Some players love it, some players hate it, both on using and having to deal with its side. So that's interesting. Its ability to just down a player with a body shot as opposed to needing a headshot, I think, is going to be very dangerous in the hands of the 10 and 5 kicks.
10 seconds remaining.
I mean, hey, look, when I use it, I love it. When I have to deal with it, I hate it. And that's how it feels for me with the Boss G. It's such a good gun, but I think a small nerf should come in, because being able to one-shot anybody, regardless of armor class, is kind of strong. It might only have 2 shots, but think about it. Those 2 shots can go off fast off of one another. And usually how he plays, you want to get a kill and you want to run away. And that's how Vigil is normally played. And having that Boss G is such a, powerhouse to deal with, and this drone spot is such an amazing spot. Normally I see 0 cams there, but I do realize that there's a cam there, try to get it off of that position, and we just see Zonky using those Rotero drones, trying to clear up that utility, trying to find their way into a site. They might try to be a little bit faster here, and they did bring the Fuse shield. So are they going to use him just for his shield? Or will they try to use at least a little bit of his utility that he does bring to the table?
They've got to get Wi-Fi and Nick out of these upper positions, right? There's a ton of ability to use Fuse for the vertical to try and clear out the utility and the players from down below, but they've got to gain control in Armory and security to make that happen. With all of that being soft, yes, they're going to try and push for a detention breach here, but I feel like the focus on the upstairs, on that security, on this the Armory side, that has got to be the focus, and right now it looks like TSG is missing that, and this is going to be a huge opportunity for friendship team to shut it down if they walk in and not knowing Wi-Fi's up in security.
Absolutely, and if they're not paying attention, he just drops a hatch. He could almost possibly get a kill if they're not paying attention. He can almost run out, and
walks right
they're
into
ready
it.
for Wi-Fi. Viopa gonna be able to get the pick, and over here we do see the Warden, or the Vigil, my bad, Kicks almost being able to pick up another. But Zonky's in the site, but he's immediately shut down, or not in the site. Apologies, I thought we were upstairs. We're not, we're downstairs. But being able to get a kill, immediately equalizing, and then trade it off. They do have a small advantage, though it be a sliver. They do have some. They're gonna have to try to work together, but no, the Vigil gets the swing on Viopa, bringing us down to a 3-3 equal man advantage. But the Vigil is one shot. He is so close to death, but so is the Capito. They're just kind of slowly, with 30 seconds left in the round, they're just, Friendship, they're just waiting for them to kind of just peek into him. Dami trying to get this kill onto the Vigil. They do down him and secure it. We are in a 3v2, 20 seconds left. They still don't know. Do they know that the Legion is here in this small room, in the bathroom? I don't think they do. They just now find him.
The shield!
Him out. The shield kill, but look, he's on the hatch. Are they going to be able to realize this? Can they get inside the site and start planting? The cover is going to have to come out. They're going to have to start planting at 0-0. Are they going to be able to stop it? They're down him, trying to create the hole, and he stops the plant. Friendship team picking up the round after a huge clutch. That's absolutely wild how fast they were able to. He downs the Doki without even realizing, trying to make vert holes. That's wild.
Yeah, I think completely falling apart there for TSG when they had the opportunity, right? They didn't clear out the vertical when you absolutely have to on Event Workshop bomb site, right? Having silent upstairs the entire time, able to hold on and not only just cause some chaos and able to get 2 kills off the back of it. Just a huge miss there from TSG. They needed to clear that out of the top. They needed to make sure they gained control. Again, you had Fuse going down and none of his primary utility used on a floor on a site where they certainly could have. Even if they had forced Silent back downstairs to take the engagement directly, he wasn't playing Oryx, didn't have the ability to jump back upstairs. It would have been a huge rotate. They might have had a little bit of time, even though it was very close, down to this fraction of a second to get that defuse started, but gave them no opportunity to fight back. So very unfortunate there. And I'd love to see this TSG hopefully adapt to that loss, unfortunately. But we are going to go upstairs and see the second floor again for the second time on the Friendship team defense side. They lost the first back on round 7, so now they've got a bit of insight into how TSG is going to handle it.
Absolutely, and TSG going to be bringing the Osa again, and the Armoru. It's going to be an interesting play. It seems like they're going to try to set up for this fast little execute. Going to try to cause a diversion here and have the Armoru come up one of the hatches with the shotgun. Everybody's just setting up, trying to get themselves in position here, waiting for the execute. We got so many people out here on top east. We do see the Armoru gonna getting themselves below the hatch.
Yep, getting ready for the hatch to pop up. But the question is, they also look like maybe a bit of a misdirection or trying to deal with Nick holding into that armory side. You've got Dami tossing a lot of utility in, and there's the shield going up, and they don't have anybody downstairs with a C4 to try and prevent this plant.
What you say, deny the plan? We already got flurry of kills coming in, but the plant is
we're
in a 1v5. The plan doesn't matter. Dami's gonna have to try to figure out some kind of clutch, but the counter defuse is already coming in, but Wi-Fi running out. It doesn't even matter. Dami gonna at least get a small little sliver towards the stats with that Claymore kill, but that's about it. Absolutely beautiful reaction coming out of Friendship.
I was gonna say it was a beautiful setup there by TSG, using the Thatcher on the sandwich window, using the Amaru to go up through the hatch into the small office. And taking down Nick in the process. Great distraction for the Osa plant on the other side of the map at the top east, but that was where it stopped, and everything fell apart from there. Like you said, an incredible turnaround in defense there from the Friendship team to shut it down after the defuse was down. It looked like TSG had everything they needed to try and make that happen, but this is really 2 rounds in a row where we've seen that the late round fall apart after they had the execute in place, and that is given 3 in a row there for Friendship team, and now they are tied 5-5 as we head into round 11. All of that lead that we saw TSG hold on to and build throughout the first half of this game been erased now as we're equaled up here. And we are on map 1 of this best of 3 between these two titans here of T2.
mean, if you're a TSG, fan, you start to worry here because they haven't been able to win a single round on this half yet. All their 5 wins, or have they won? I might be losing myself. Have they won an attack yet? I don't think they've won one
TSG
single attack.
TSG won the first attacking round back on round 7 for this half on Armory Archives.
Okay, my memory's kind of faded me, but if you're a TSG fan, I think that's 3 rounds in a row though that they've lost.
That is.
So still a bit of worry. Only winning 1 round so far, and you're gonna need to try to pick up some kind of momentum, figure out where you're falling. And I wouldn't fault them if they lose one more to call a timeout, figure out hey, this is what we're doing wrong, and this is how we need to try to fix it. We are going to be seeing them trying to get upstairs, deal with this roam clear here. They are going to note there is trying to use that OSA shield as just like a regular shield here with just a little bit more visibility, trying to figure out how they want to get into this map, but Friendship is not giving them any kind of leverage at all. They're not over peaking or anything. Flash utilities coming out, gonna try to see if they can execute on something. Rai's gonna get one on the kicks. Gonna find another one onto Wi-Fi. Now this seems like they figuring out what Friendship's number is. We are now in a 5v3. They were in this position last time, but they weren't able to fully bring it back up into their winning.
Yeah, and now with a minute and a half left, half the round gone at this point, one of the things that Friendship Team had done a great job so far in most of these rounds is holding on to that security break area and making it difficult for TSG to get in the building. This time, though, those two players go down, and TSG Gold is able to gain that real estate and gain that map control. The problem is you still have got Silent playing over there at the top east, being a menace. Osa making the push up with the shield, but certainly seems like a dangerous way to play it. Got the shield set up, so now certainly a ton of pressure on. He's going to walk back into the open arms of Dokkaebi, and that is going to give this attacking team access to the intel as well with 50 seconds left. Now it's looking dire, and both of the defenders back downstairs, but you do still have Nick on the Oryx. Can make the rotate up if they have enough time and need.
Absolutely amazing pinch coming from them, and I feel like the Doki could try to, get this. They have the time to, hack the cans, figure out, see if there's anything that they can be using against them, but they don't see Eddie whipping his shots, able to pick up one though, gets the second, the communication isn't there. Is he going to be able to pick up another? Throws his C4, doesn't connect, but another one drops, finally being able to take care of Eddie. Plant is going down with only a couple seconds left. Do they know where Nick is? Luckily they do. Zonky is able to finally end their losing streak, picks up a round, and at least secures them OT.
I can't believe that that TSG almost threw that, right? In a 5v2 or a 4v2 at that point, having two players drop the hatch right into the waiting arms of Eddie. Unbelievable play from him. I mean, but also unbelievable from the TSG side, right? You had shots coming up through the floor. You knew that someone was downstairs in the bathroom. Buck taking shots at dropping the flash, but did not connect. The utility usage didn't happen in the way they needed to, and at TSG almost throwing that thing away. They do manage to hang on just from the sheer number of bodies, but if they had been a little closer in the count, that would have absolutely been a Friendship Team win. But you said it, TSG Gold secures their 6th and sends us to our first match point of the day between these two teams here on map 1. French's team only needs to be perfect for one more round, though, to force OT. That's exactly what happened yesterday between TSG and Mormon Leadership. They went double OT, 8-7 victory for Mormon Leadership in this just yesterday in the semifinal.
Hey, I mean, TSG Gold just wants to make sure that their fans are, fully awake. Wanted to give them a small little heart attack that they might lose that, but look, like you said, luckily they were able to bring it back because they were able to have stuff in. The site is completely empty from Friendship. Are they trying to fake a site here?
Well, it's Vent Workshop having vertical control over vent work is the important part anyway, right? Nick silent upstairs holding on to it, and this was the part that we saw TSG sort of fail at the back on round 9. They didn't gain enough vertical control, and Friendship Team, they're just going to lean into it, right? Let's just make sure that nothing is available for them to be able to, to have vertical control. Even if they try and push in downstairs, it's going to fall apart again. So TSG is going to have to do something different.
Absolutely. It's just this is the first time that I've seen like a full team just be roaming upstairs. Normally you at least see at least one person in sight just to prevent any kind of like rushes, even with vertical play. So this is definitely a first for me seeing it, and they really want to make sure that they don't enter the map. But as I say that, Zonky is going to be able to get a kill onto Eddie, and they're in the site holding the hatches, preventing them from dropping down. This is what I was afraid of, with nobody in sight to kind of like prevent that. They might be able to get a plant off here if they play their cards right. We do see some of the utility coming out from the Ying and the Twitch. Gonna go ahead, and they're planting right under the hatch with cover. They might be able to get a plant off here. The plant is fully going off. This is what I was afraid of, with nobody in sight, nobody with that pressure. They got the full site covered. They were able to get the plant off, and now they can hold from outside. They're just gonna stay in the hatch, underneath the hatch, use their utility, just waste as much time as possible. And Friendship, they're gonna have to figure out something really fast. And Zonky, they're
Oh
able to
no.
get a big pick here. It's a 5v3, even with the vertical presence. They do find the Zonky, so we're down to a 4v3. It is slightly winnable, but look at the time. They only got to waste a little bit more. There's only 2 of them. The counter defuse is coming in, but are they going to be able to stop it? They do, and oh
Wow.
my gosh, TSG Gold
What?
take the first map in a 7-5. Absolute beautiful blunder from the XLG roster, just leaving the site completely undefended.
Like you said, a 7-5 victory there for the for this TSG team. I wouldn't know that I would say blunder per se, but definitely they took advantage of the fact that it looked like Team Friendship was wanted to hold on to the vertical, had that thing on absolute lockdown, thought they were taking advantage of a TSG problem, and TSG exploited a small gap right in the corner there down in Workshop. Well played by that team, and then some great defense. They played their hearts out and managed to find victory here on the first map of this best of 3 between these two teams, and right on their path to trying to find the number 1 seed here in Element 4. Both teams qualified, fighting it out though for the number 1 and number 2.
Absolutely, and hey, no one step away. We still got another match. This is a best of 3. It was TSG Gold's map, so hey, maybe we got Friendship going to be taking their map on KAFE when we return.
Welcome back, fellow Siege spectators and players, to Element 4, the Open Qualifier number 1. We're in the seeding match, best of 3, between TSG Gold and the ex-Luminosity Gaming roster of the Friendship team. That first map over and done on border, 7-5 victory for TSG Gold. What'd you think, Vi?
I thought it was an absolutely wonderful map. TSG Gold, they had a wonderful lead at the beginning there, taking their first half on defense, 4-2. But then, Friendship Team, they were bringing themselves closer, coming into the map, almost being able to win it. Bringing us to a 5-5. But then TSG Gold being able to, claw back those last two rounds. In their last round with a quick notice that nobody was in sight, being able to get a plant off was absolutely amazing. But that's what you guys are not here to see anymore. That's been the past. We are now into the present with KAFE Dostoevsky, and this is Team Friendship's map. Will they be able to win it, or will they fall to TSG Gold? We'll have to wait and see.
I definitely think that when we talked about it at the beginning, TSG needed to win border. They must win their map to even have a chance here because I'm definitely expecting the Friendship team to come out swinging on their map pick and to be very good. Cafe is a map that a team that is very well coordinated can absolutely dominate. And that is something that, yeah, the TSG roster, the core of it has been together for a very long time. A lot of these players played on Dilemma, Outlast, and a few other rosters together, so they're good. But this is the T1 Luminosity team. We're expecting them to be very good. Both of the shields going down, though, as expected here in the Year 9 Season 3 shield meta. Nobody wants to see them as a part of it. A zombie going down, and I gotta believe Valk probably the next one because Cafe has got so many great Valk spots, and you get a lot of utility from a lot of open space from that extra intel.
Absolutely, seeing a Valk ban come out is going to be pretty common here, especially since there's three floors. Valk can be useful on any bomb site you go, with the fact that you can just throw a C4 right up and get a kill. If you're playing on the top floor, you play around and train, get a kill, throw a C4 up, boom, another kill. You're playing, downstairs in kitchen, you just again throw it up in the train whenever they're trying to do vertical. C4s are going to be such a heavy use of this map, or at least anytime that I play it, it just seems like everybody's running a C4. So being able to see how they're going to be playing this is going to be interesting. But most of the time, you usually see people going up to that third floor starting it off, but TSG Gold is going to be starting us here in the kitchen area, which is going to be a very interesting. So are they going to be going for an extension over into bakery? Or are they going to be going over for an extension over into VIP? Maybe even both. It's going to be interesting to see exactly how they're going to be playing. They got the Vigil not running the boss G, Zonky not feeling, good enough to use it, I guess, or, personal preference. Everybody has their own choice here.
I
Seeing
think
how they're going to go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah, no, I mean you got a good point there from the vigil side. We talk about this occasionally too, is that when you run the boss G, you're definitely expecting those single location, those single shot opportunities there to try and take one or two. But if Zonky is maybe setting himself up for a run out, maybe something going for the repellers, that's the spot you want the K1A. You're gonna need a whole bunch of bullets if in case you have to miss or redirect during that run out. So to me, that says this might be a little bit of an aggressive stance for the TSG Gold side from a run out and a push outside the building. Love to see that, and Cafe's got a bunch of opportunities for that. We'll see how that plays out here as Friendship Team looking to start with your basic top-down clear here on Cafe, and I'm curious if we're gonna see a fuse charge even go off in this best of three.
It would absolutely see a wonder to see Eddie actually use his utility and not just bring him just for the shield. But what's also really interesting, as the first Doki call comes out, we see that Kix is using the boss G as I say that Zonky gonna be able to kill the Vigil, taking rid of him. And that's a lot, just clearing this roam clear out so fast, but there's like nobody else roaming. So they have this entire top floor all for themselves to get this vertical done.
Yep, I mean typical to have not a ton of vertical presence. I mean, we haven't seen TSG again. One of the things we talked about in Border is that that's one of the things they struggled on was the vertical presence and the vertical play, and I think that's really one of the next big steps that they need to attack. But certainly not approaching it from a defensive perspective either. Not a big roam outside of that first floor. And yeah, you talked about it. Kix was the one running the Boss G on Vigil on the on Border, so not surprising to see him doing that. And now finally, the fuse charges going off, wreaking havoc downstairs in the kitchen.
Absolutely wonderful that we get to see Fuse actually use his utility, which is so nice to see. Which is gonna do quite a bit of damage to the smoke here onto Dami. So not entirely gonna be also getting rid of a lot of this utility that's playing, but if they want to try to get a plant here over by Freezer side, they're gonna have to deal with the Warden that's playing in VIP. They're gonna be trying to look through these vertical holes, try to figure out what exactly they want to do here. Last call coming out from the Doki, trying to figure out exactly where these players are playing, and if they can get a read on this, I don't think anybody is playing over by Bakery's side. They might be able to get something, but as I say that, they're dropping into Freezer. Dami is able to get one onto Eddie. Gonna equalize.
Oh,
Gonna be bringing us down to a 4v2. What a beautiful play. They're trying to rush back into the site, trying to equalize. Ray Ray's gonna be able to get one, get two. Is he gonna be able to get another one? He's equalized this for them. It's gonna come down to a 1v1. Kiko is gonna have to figure out to do something. Go for the kill or go for the plant. He's kind of stuttering.
no
Figure out what
way.
he's gonna do. Absolutely crazy round from Friendship.
He knew Kix knew that he had to go for the kill there. He could not go for the plant with only a 1v1 and no coverage with that kill coming out on the bottom of red stairs. He didn't have the opportunity to try and get the plant down. There was going to be an easy kill there, and in that case, out of bullets, right? Needing to reload both the Boss G and the SMG-12. And I think that right there shows why sometimes the Boss G is not the weapon to bring. Kick's obviously very good with that weapon, like we talked about from his play on Border, but that one did not go their way. Friendship team looking like they had that hatch drop into Freezer all set up, the execute happening, had used all the fuse charges, cleared out all the utility, and then it fell apart because you said it. VIP was still alive. You had the ward in there, so the flash is not effective. And I think getting lucky, a couple good shots as well from TSG to clear out some of those friendship players made that one an easy, or at least a possible victory for TSG. So they take their first on defense, on the defensive sided map. So TSG certainly looking to build up at least the 4-2, maybe better than, as they work through a KAFE here.
Absolutely. And Ray, being smart, taking his two picks and just, proning there, waiting for his team to kind of like, try to come into the site, kind of help him out was absolutely a beautiful play on their part. And I'm liking seeing the Mozzie here, and specifically the P10 Roni. You don't really see that play too more after all its nerfs and all that. So Mozzie being such a powerhouse, destroy a lot of those drones during the prep phase, and then you have 4 pest gadgets to be able to deny so much of the utility of them trying to drone it into different words into different places. Bring the mirror here also to kind of like help prevent them from entering in this piano. It's going to be interesting how they try to, figure out and adapt to this kind of hold that TSG is holding.
I like the from a defensive perspective. I like that they're TSG taking a more vertical play. Right, we know that that down on that second floor, sort of the rise in the mid-floor sites in Rainbow Six Siege, this 2F reading site, one of the better sites to hold on to onto KAFE, because you basically have a similar setup upstairs on the third floor as you would as if it's a third floor site, plus the attacking team still has to focus on getting downstairs onto that second floor eventually to try and get the plant down. But the combination of both of the mirrors holding, watching those window drops in from Cigar, but a lot of repel happening and a lot of utility dump happening here as a friendship team working to clear out these vertical plays. And you can see how many drones this team has been sending at TSG. They're gaining a ton of intel on where all the TSG players are at.
Yeah, but they're not acting on that utility, so it's if they just stall so much more, they're not gonna have enough time to be able to work the site. Gonna be able to notice and get a kill onto Dami, trying to push in. So much utility is already going out. Kix gonna go ahead and try to equalize onto it. Kix gets 2. We
Wow.
got Mega getting another one, and now it is just Zonky in a 1v4. Might as well just make it a 1v3 with how low Kix is, but Kix being able to get 2 huge picks. Equalizing, there it is. Zonky gonna be able to pick up him. Health not even mattering with that headshot. Gonna see what exactly Zonky's gonna be able to do here.
Not a lot. You got plenty of time. 25 seconds left in a 3v1. You can hear Sledge continuing to work on just opening up pieces of the floor, and that is the diffuser going down. You've got Repel him. No way. Is he going to stop the plant? 1 second late.
Unable to be able to get it. He almost was able to get the plant, but gets the plant turret, but the plant does go down successfully, and because they have that vertical presence, easy win for Friendship.
Yep, you're hearing the Sledge just opening up all of those vertical plays to be able to put some pressure down on the TSG defenders. But it's interesting. We've absolutely seen Sledge completely fall off as an operator. Teams rarely choose him when you've got the Ram, who has become, I think, much more integral part of the vertical attacking meta, and of certainly Buck. Right, Buck being definitely better than Sledge at opening up all those vertical holes. Plenty of bullets in the skeleton key to be able to make that happen. So close though from the TSG defense. He almost was able to kill the planter with just enough time left, and that, I think, would have been the end of Friendship. But allowing just enough time in that 1v4 scenario, I'm honestly a little bit surprised TSG got as close as they did. Friendship team, if they had lost that, would have certainly called that a thrown round. But they hang on, they tie it up. TSG 1, XLG 1, as we head into round 3, and back downstairs on a second floor site again. Is a ton of the hold happening upstairs on the 3F.
And like you said last round, we're seeing a surge of those second floors being used a lot more, because it's just so similar to how you would hold that top floor. And honestly though, seeing mining, it's kind of interesting seeing everybody play upstairs. Normally when you see a mining, you usually have one person in kitchen, usually like a pulse or something, to kind of like help and out with any rushes or anything that might come out. But it's going to be interesting how they're going to play it. They have decided to have at least one person playing in the site, prevent any rushes, and we do have Zonky roaming around as the mirror to kind of like help out Legion here with anything that they might want to do. It's going to be a basic opening start here from Friendship, trying to figure out how they want to push this, try to figure out what's free, what's not. They are going to see the exact same mirror setup, so hopefully they'll be able to deal with that a lot faster than what they did last time. Knowing that there's one of my gadgets, hopefully not to waste any of their gadgets here, and see what they can pull out.
Yeah, you said it's a lot of this hold happening upstairs. Very similar setup, even though it's a mining site here from the 3F, holding on from the reading perspective. And a lot of top-down clear happening, again, playing on the repel windows. And interesting that Silent brings out the Sledge again, but not going to question him at 6-1, having an incredible game. Wi-Fi and Eddie still yet to find a kill, but still pretty early here in round 3 as this one happens. And great nade tossed in and gonna down Rai as the fire burns all around him in Cocktail.
It is, VPO is up here, so it is possible to get picked back up, but absolutely beautiful teamwork here coming from Friendship to be able to get that down. But are they going to be able to equalize? Vipin
Wow.
going to be able to get one. It's just a trade of kills back and forth. Essentially, we're in a 3v3 right now. Dami getting another one. Essentially making this a 3v2. Ray still down, but still be able to receive. The same thing with Eddie. Are they going to be able to do anything? Are they able to equalize and take advantage with what they have? As I say that, Ray is going to finally go down to a nade cooked by Kix. But here we are now. Eddie is going to be able to pick up, but are they going to be able to get stuff? Wi-Fi going to be able to get that kill onto the player upstairs. Now they have this vertical play, but then look at the time. There's only like 20 seconds left for them to try to work the site, and they're just going to be holding angles.
That's right, you got everybody downstairs, both the Mira and the Legion down, what walks right into the open arms and open barrel of Wi-Fi, looking to get one a second. Eddie finishes that off. There is no way I thought that Friendship Team was going to win that in that 4v2 scenario that we had left. Crazy turn of events, or just great gun and setup play there by the Friendship Team. That skylight drop from Eddie and Kicks, certainly a little bit of a mistake, not realizing that you had one of the defenders hiding just behind the cocktail table, but unfortunately was only able to get one of the drops. And the second one goes down and keeps the Friendship Team alive, keeps that one in, and so now we've seen two attacking wins there from Friendship Team on both of the mid-floor sites. So TSG Gold going to rotate back to the first floor and try the kitchen defense again, which they did win back on round one. And if you're just joining us and wondering, why am I seeing the XLG roster playing as the Friendship Team here on the Siege Double Shot in Element 4? Well, they were still a pro team when Element 4 was kicking off and all of the teams were invited. Since that point, they're now available to play in Element 4, so they're doing it the hard way, running through the qualifier just like any other team could. Free qualifiers open, the next qualifier taking place next weekend as well, so you want the opportunity for your team to make it through. Open qualifier again starting next Friday. And LG, they've already qualified for E4, both of these teams making it in as the first 1 and 2 seeds, and they're currently fighting out, deciding who is going to be number 1. The winner at this best of 3 gets that honor.
Absolutely, and with that being said, already bringing the Twitch, getting rid of a lot of that utility Goyos that waste so much time. Those going out within 30 seconds of the round starting is such a huge play here from Friendship. Being able to recognize that, so that way when it comes to late game, they're not having to worry about those. Hopefully, they are able to get rid of some of those Twitch drones and hold on to those Goyos, because how valuable they are. Run out from Zonky, not being able to find anybody, but definitely, trying to be a little bit more risky here, trying to see if they can get something, but I don't think they really have too many roamers. I don't think I see any roamers at all on the second floor here. They're just giving the vertical control completely free for Friendship, which is definitely not something you want to do. You want to try to contest it, waste a little bit of time here, so we're going to see Friendship not waste any kind of time and try to get all that vertical play.
Yeah, sometimes you can catch a team off guard by not having anybody upstairs, and you spend a lot of time looking because you're not sure that anybody's up there, and it's surprising that nobody has made the play. But look at that, the C4 tossed inside of the floorboard up against the hatch in the fireplace in the dining room. So very interesting to see how that's going to work. And we said it, we expected when Zonky was playing on the Vigil, he was going to be one of the guys making the runouts, and he did here on this round. Like you said, didn't claim anybody, didn't catch anything, but good VIP hold. Still, watching this Friendship Team work on clearing defensive utility and getting set up. They have got a ton of pressure coming from all around the map, though.
They're trying to set up for some kind of execute here. The flashes, the Doki calls, the fire, it's all coming out. Trying to get some kind of pick, trying to push him out of these power positions, but not being able to find anything yet. But they do have the fuse, trying to push into Bakery here. He's so low health, he's gonna be able to knock the smoke.
No way!
Pinnacle is able to pick up a kill from, I'm assuming it's Freezer side. Smoke is down, the fuse is traded off. There is a chance to pick up the smoke, but not anymore. The flurries of kills are coming in. They are in the sights, or almost in the sight, my bad. But they are trying to find this last player, but there it is. Mega gonna be able to clean up and take out Zonky. That's another round for Friendship. Absolutely beautiful coordination and timing.
Yep, it looked like it was a little bit of a slow execute as they were working on getting that thing kicked off, but when it came time, they certainly showed up and showed out. And here on Attack on KAFE, we've already seen this XLG team pick up 3 rounds. When on the standard, at TSG hoping for a 4-2 split. Now they're going to have to work extremely hard even to get that 3-3 even split against this team. And right now, Friendship looking very good. Silent 10-2, taking Kix's place as the frag leader from the previous map. But on the back of that round, I think that may have been, it was either a 3 or a 4K round as well from him. So incredible way to start this game off. 1-3 heading into round 5, and TSG is going to take another shot at the reading site. So they've played, this will be the third time we're seeing the 2F here on KAFE, and so far all of them going down. The previous two, Friendship team taking both of them. So see whether or not they've got a different kind of a setup this time. Looking very similar in the way that they're managing it. All of the combination of reinforced walls and the mirror windows, watching all the repels in. Yep, they're going to stick with that exact same strat.
I'm liking how they're adapting that. Last time what they had here was just a boltable rotate, so that way they could hide, but noticing that they got caught out last time that they were up here because of that, deciding to make it so they can just run straight through is definitely a smart play on them, so that way they're not stuck in that bathroom. They can take their picks. Like that last round, they could have definitely won it if the castle wasn't stuck in that bathroom as bad as he was. So seeing that adaptation is definitely very good. Gonna be seeing the same kind of hold as you were saying. Not much has changed. Gonna be seeing if they can hopefully get some kind of take here. Running the dock in the place of the warden, so that way if he gets downed. But as I say that, Nami's gonna get one. Nick's gonna try to find another one. Gonna equalize. Isn't able to find him. Vivio gonna be bringing the favor into his odds. The dog's gonna get to stem himself up. As
Wow.
another fight. Vivio gets another one. The dog trying to stem himself up. It is just back and forth with the kills. We do manage to get ourselves into a 2v1. Wi-Fi dropping pillar, seeing if he can try to equalize this to bring us into a 1v1, but TSG Gold, they're just gonna hold their angles. They're just gonna stay back and see what happens.
They need to hold their angles. They do not need to overpeak this. They have got the man advantage. Even though Wi-Fi has the diffuser down, there's no need for them to take a rush play here. Wi-Fi is dangerous enough on his own without them opening up and throwing or just walking into the hallway. Unfortunate there from Zonky to make the play. Just hold on and wait. Hectic has made his way upstairs to 3F, but look at this. Plant is going down. He's going to make the drop, takes a shot, but it's not going to work, and that is the plant down. Unfortunate there for TSG.
Oh my goodness. Absolutely beautiful clutch up from Wi-Fi, but if you're a TSG fan, you're starting to think, what is happening? What are you doing? I understand that you want to try, we had the Mozzie rotate up to try to get the vertical, but you didn't need it. You just needed to play off each other, hold each other's angles.
Yep. Mira running down the hallway. That must have been some bad intel. I know that it looked like they had a little bit of intel on where Wi-Fi was, and maybe trying to rotate into position, but just unfortunate the way that one played out. Definitely feels like a bit of a TSG throw at that point. And I know we expected coming into this map that the Friendship team was going to win, right? This is an underdog story here for TSG on Friendship's map pick, but when you walk into that kind of a scenario, you can't be throwing it away either. So unfortunate. And to me also, Friendship read that defense perfectly, right? TSG didn't really change anything up that they had done on the previous 2F bomb sites with the 3F hold. Played it exactly the same. Friendship flooded the 3F, exploited, basically knowing where all of the TSG players were, completely dominated that part. And even though it required Wi-Fi to clutch up that round, they had plenty of opportunity to change the strategy upstairs, but Friendship team exploited them running that same strat.
Absolutely. Even though you might have seen some slightly different ops, but they were playing the exact same positions. I guess what their plan was is they were hoping that they could just run the dock to help prevent the Capito and the nades from pushing them out of that position, but it didn't really seem to help them out too much. It seems like they were so focused on that they didn't notice what else was happening. I love the adaptation that Friendship is bringing, but gonna be able to hear some shots, taking out some of that utility, but seeing how they're gonna be able to try to do this as a full site rotate from TSG Gold. So we are seeing that mining again, trying to figure out where these players are playing, and we still got Rai right here playing in the same position again with the
Yep.
dock. Hopefully he's able to hold this for much longer than what he did last time.
Yeah, it feels like a very similar hold again. I mean, yes, they've got some of the drop positions covered. Unfortunate. Going to have a hatch drop and a missed shot, a missed C4. Yeah, right now, a Friendship team just, I feel like exploiting the fact that TSG is not making any adaptations, so they need to. 3v4 left. Holy cow. Fuse with his back turned, gets shot directly in the back. A 3v2. This is an opportunity here for TSG, but they cannot throw it away.
As you say that, gonna come down to again another 2v1. A lot of firefights happening. Is gonna just drop down back to the site, and all they have to do is hold each other's angles. They were in this position before with Wi-Fi, but now it's Mega. Mega's been having such a huge game. He is 12-3. If anybody is gonna clutch up, it's gonna be Mega. As long as TSG Gold doesn't overextend, just holds each other's angle, they're gonna try to see a little bit of vertical play. Luckily able to escape. Gonna have an idea of where this castle is gonna be playing. He's still trying to find that vertical angle onto him. Gonna go ahead and drop. Does he see him? Does he know that both of them are playing on this mining side? They can just play off each other. It's gonna be a close one, trying to bait out. One swing gets one. Is he gonna be able to find the other? Trying to swing, play ring around the rosy, and he does. I said if it was gonna be anybody to clutch up, it was gonna be Mega, adding another 2 to his kill count. What a play.
Yeah, and I mean that right there is the difference between a T1 team and an aspiring T2 team from TSG Gold, right? TSG Gold has put up an incredible run through the Element 4 qualifier bracket at this point. It's been a great run, admirable, but right now what we're seeing is the Friendship team, a T1 team, almost beating up on TSG, right? An incredible clutch there from Silent in the previous round from Wi-Fi, right? Played that perfectly in a 2v1 scenario. A little bit of misdirection and then forced a 1vx both times in a gunfight that you knew you could win. So showing why this squad belongs here on a map that they feel very comfortable in, including winning these down man count scenarios. So now TSG Gold, they have been an incredible attack team as well. It's one of the things we talked about during the setup. And if you didn't get a chance to watch the semifinal games yesterday, TSG Gold was very, very good on attack on a variety of maps. So even here on KAFE against a very good Friendship team defense, definitely expecting them to show up a little bit more than we've seen so far throughout the first half of this map. So if you're a TSG Gold fan, hang on. This is not over yet. It is a best of 3, and TSG has got that first map pick in hand. Even if Friendship team wins here, we are still going to have to go to Skyscraper to finish out the best of 3.
You said it here, and I will say though that TSG now on the attack, they're got a big uphill climb to be able to try to, push forward into this. And as I say that, I've seen the pulse, as I talked about earlier, seen the pulse usually on that mining dying location here. And also, it's going to be interesting to see how they try to adapt to this defense and how the defense is going to, almost getting a pick on the frost, but narrowly escaping without a scratch. But it's interesting to see Mega gonna be playing downstairs. Usually you want to see someone that's popping off in those like upfront positions, fighting these people as they're trying to enter, but no, he's gonna be playing a more passive role here.
Yeah, you can be passive in this case, right? They've got time on their side. The 6th man for defense here, giving them a little bit of extra time. They used a little bit of distraction here from a utility perspective. They got the castles blocking off entry, the mute jammers, providing a little bit of distraction. You're not sure whether or not the defenders are holding on to those locations, but they've completely vacated the top floor. And the same strategy we saw worked well from a TSG perspective was just let it all happen upstairs, waste a bunch of time searching for those players. But right now everybody on that second or first floor just waiting, and with a minute left, it's not out of time yet, but TSG needs to step this thing up a little bit and move a little quicker as they get ready for the execute.
Absolutely, and we got that pulse that's still playing downstairs, ready for that whenever the execute does happen to get a free C4 kill here, and they're not quite figuring out how they want to push the sites. 40 seconds left. All the players are still alive. Friendship over here playing a more passive game here. And as I say, they try to get into an engagement here, but either team picks off just some damage from either side, but nothing's happening quite yet. On the white stairs here, gonna be dropping the laundry hatch. Gonna be able to get a pick onto the Frost. Is he gonna be able to get this pick onto the castle? Dami's gonna find one of his own. Not gonna be able to pick up the castle, but the plant is going down. Giant C4 from Mega. Plant's gonna try to be attempted again, but Eddie's gonna stop it, and Eddie coming out with the win. Just watching as people just run straight into his loving gun.
Yeah, right now, Friendship team here beating up on TSG a little bit on Friendship's map pick. So we are on our second match point here of the afternoon. Friendship team in a 6-1 landslide here against TSG. And TSG, looking back, won the very first round on their defense on that first floor. Ever since then, it has been all Friendship team making this thing happen. So whether it's been on the first floor, second floor, to me, the interesting thing at this point is that, just trying to find something. We haven't seen any of the third floor bomb site being played at all. It's been all first and second floor at this point, and right now that is playing into the hands of the Friendship team. So I'm not sure if TSG thinking that was going to be a competitive advantage, but they have certainly been taken advantage of over and over at this point. At this point, what does TSG Gold need to do? Because it just seems like right now it's falling apart at the wrong time. They just have not been able to find a way to make it happen. And it looks like we're seeing Friendship set up the exact same hold as TSG did on the cocktail side. But I like the addition of the castle to try and block off those entries into freezer.
Absolutely, and also trying to keep those like mirrors safe, but they do have an Ash. It's probably just going to go on these windows to try to remove them as fast as possible. And personally, probably going to have this knock lurk up one of the stairways to hopefully get a pick here. But my question is like, if you're a TSG fan, where's the timeout? You guys have timeout. Take a moment, reset, rethink. You have the time. Everybody, like, each team has a timeout, and Knock here gonna be walking, doesn't get spotted, but then this does, as I say that.
Wow.
Eddie finds Knock being able to get a pick there.
Yeah, the danger with the timeout is that it gives the other team the opportunity as well. So maybe just the mental reset is the important part, because you give the Friendship team the ability to sit and talk about it as well, which can be very dangerous. But like right now, what can you do? Try and find something. They needed to change up the narrative a little bit. I think the timeout would have been a great call, even if you gave this defending team the opportunity as well. Just change it up and just slow this thing down, because right now you're getting beat up. And again, in a down man count, 3v4. But that's the problem, is it hasn't mattered whether or not TSG Gold was up in the man count or down. Friendship team was just finding ways to close out rounds. So in this last, what is going to be about a minute left before maybe we see an execute happen, there's still defensive utility in play. You still have got you still have got two of the Friendship team up on the third floor holding vertical angles down. And that's the part that we've seen TSG struggle with, is protecting the vertical. And nobody upstairs on the 3F, so I'm not seeing this going their way in the last minute of gameplay.
Absolutely. It's definitely an interesting play, how they're trying to figure this out, trying to figure out what they want to do. Gonna just run up Wise by the seams of it, try to get some kind of an execute happening, but Mega's gonna shut down Dami, immediately traded out by Ray Ray. We're in a 2v3. It is still possible, and Ray Ray's gonna get another one, equalizing the round. They have a chance to bring this into their favor. Plant is going down in reading, but they never dealt with the vertical. Is it gonna go down in a safe location? It is. It is now a post plant, but Wi-Fi gonna be taking out Ray Ray, and Wi-Fi taking out Honky too. And that is a good map and a GG coming out from the XLG roster.
Defender mission successful.
That's right, 7-1 victory for the Friendship team here as we close out Map 2 in this best of 3. Wow, what a run from them. They really made, it looked a little bit evenly matched as a part of the first on Border, but this one was all Friendship team. 7-1 victory, my friend. Holy cow, what a run for them. Just beating up on TSG, finding ways to exploit, even man counts when it looked like TSG had everything they needed to win a round, whether it be location, utility, or players. Nothing could really help them win here on KAFE.
Absolutely. And when you look at it, you got to think, if you're a TSG fan, you're thinking to yourself, where is the TSG goal that was there during Border? Border was a very close match. It was back and forth between the two. And now you're looking at TSG Gold and you're just like, what happened? Where did my team go? Hopefully they're able to bring it back going on to Sky. If we look back into the other qualifiers here, they've been able to, do pretty good on Sky against other teams. Will they able to bring it back here? So do not go anywhere. Stay tuned. Ayo.
Let's go. What's up, and welcome back, fellow Siege spectators and players, and welcome to Element 4. We are in the number 1, number 2 qualification match. Both of these teams, TSG Gold and the Friendship team, have qualified, and they are fighting it out for the number 1 spot in the qualifier here. And we are down to map number 3 in this best of 3. Border and KAFE already done. Skyscraper is left. And what did you think about it, V?
I thought it was absolutely a wonderful match between the two. The first match on Border was a very close 7-5, almost going into overtime. But when we went over to KAFE, it was a slaughterhouse for Friendship Team, absolutely demolishing them in a 7-1 fashion. And now we're going to Skyscraper. If you're a TSG fan, you're hoping that they show up and realize what they did wrong in that last map and take advantage of it here in Skyscraper.
That's right, and playing out just as we saw on all of the other matches between these two teams so far, Blitz and Monty, the first two to go. And I think that's TSG Gold has been, we've seen Friendship Team start on attack now, all 3 maps. And we've seen Blitz and Monty be the first 2 down. So the interesting one, though, changing it up finally for the first time, Friendship Team banning Bandit here. And I wonder if that's a target based on what we saw from TSG previously. They want to make getting into the building a little bit easier and protecting some of that utility, like maybe a mirror window, a little bit harder.
Absolutely. And honestly, with a bandit on Skyscraper, it is so imperative to have a bandit, especially when you're downstairs in kitchen barbecue, or if you're playing upstairs in karaoke tea, trying to keep that single karaoke wall absolutely out of the way. And I think we're having
Whoop!
a small technical difficulty here.
Indeed we are. One moment.
So with that being said, though,
We'll pause and make sure that that gets all sorted out there for a second. So, not sure what that was. So hold on one sec, and we'll be right back.
And just like that, we're back. So sorry, everybody, for the small delay. We are starting here at round 3. Luckily, we haven't missed too much, but I'm assuming not too much has changed from what we have been able to observe. But luckily, we are going to see most of this match. It is 1-1 currently, meaning that Friendship has been able to pick up one site, though. The site was unsure of which one they got. But we are now seeing a kitchen barbecue defense, and they are bringing the fuse again. So it is, we've seen TSG Gold use the fuse with their utility, and very little has LG, you know, the ex-LG roster here used it for that, mainly just for the shield. Are we going to see anything here? We are going to see a little bit of engagement. C4 is shot out, though. No one is going to be able to collect. They are cautious that someone might be playing on these, you know, on these black stairs here, but nobody is. But they are going to be extra cautious just to make sure. We do only have one player in the site. Everybody else is playing over here on these house stairs, or correction, on these lobby stairs here. Are they able to collect on anything?
It's a great question, and like I said, it's TSG 1-1. Like we said, missing out on those rounds as the Observer PC crashed. Finally, trying to get some spot back in. But look at this: is Fuse going to be able to plant underneath? He's planting underneath the table in the Tuberau Zoto canister.
He definitely was trying to attempt it, but couldn't get it with someone playing there on that bar. And then Viopa, words are hard. But with the Tuberau trying, you know, also, you know, pushing up, getting that kill, and then it's just a flurry of kills coming in. And that's going to be another round for TSG.
Yeah, Vipoa there sitting at, what was that, 5-1 to start off with, and a flawless there on round 3. Not exactly getting a chance to see how all of the other ones have gone. The fact that Friendship Team, though, picked up one early, that means they took either words are hard. The karaoke or the office exhibition side. That for sure, we know that TSG has got to worry about that. They're very good on attack, but they have to survive and deliver on their defensive half here for Skyscraper, right? The typical standard split on Sky, 5-1 half for the defense. Friendship Team has already met their quota. So even if TSG is going to be very good on attack, they're still playing T1 team in this case. Going to have to be maybe better than the quota, and they've got to hold off Friendship Team from being better on their half just to get this thing started. So we know they're good on Sky. They had a great number of games yesterday. Still a ton of opportunity and a ton of possibility to lose it, so they can't throw it away like some of the rounds we did see on KAFE.
5 seconds remaining.
Absolutely, and as we're seeing this, you know, second floor karaoke and T as their defensive site here, we're gonna see how they decide, how Friendship Team is gonna decide to figure out how to push this. We do see a pretty big extension here over into office site. We got 3 players over here, and if Friendship is able to realize this, they might be able to go for an explosive push here onto the site, trying to find some util, but the mute jammer is gonna be preventing them from finding too much. Gonna be watching the window, hoping that nobody's gonna try to run out while Wi-Fi tries to get this wall open here. It's just gonna Mav trick this so that way it's just super easy to open, and gonna focus his attention somewhere else.
That's right. They have the opportunity to just walk in, right, without that wall being without the bandits. You talked about it. Bandit being banned out as one of those early ops makes it a little bit easier for the attackers to try and get that wall open, put some pressure on the geisha side of this map. It's one of the things that makes it very easy for the attackers to push in. So I think it was obviously very targeted op ban there for the attackers, with Friendship Team starting off wanting to avoid it. And boy, the Deimos kill from below was on the list. The vertical kill there for Fresh during the Montreal Major, because we were expecting that to be an important part of the meta going forward, and Silent delivering on that promise, already at 5-2 with a double kill from Deimos down below.
Absolutely, and as you say that, it's trying to equalize here as the Legion gets a pick onto the Grim. Pretty big utility kill here, but we got Dami here being tracked by the Deimos, not really restricting his movement here, trying to stay in the mute jammer so he's not spotted, which is an absolute beautiful play to bring, but they're in a rock and a hard place as Wi-Fi picks up one. Now we're in this 4v1 situation, but Eddie's gonna pick him up, absolutely destroy it, and that's another round for the ex-LG roster.
So we said the TSG Gold needed to be good and they needed to be better than the standard split. And right now, struggling maybe a little bit. And I wanted to report on while we were on that break, two of the big pieces of news that happened. Both of the other qualified teams have been identified. So Mormon Leadership beat Arrival 7 in their best of 3 in a 2-0 victory there. And move on and qualify here for Element 4. And Team Pew Pew Pew, or P3 as we were calling them, that Joe's team beat Garage Talks for that second qualification spot. So match 252, the lower semifinal, will be a seeding between those two teams to decide which one is going to be the number potentially 3 and 4 spot. And we'll move on from there at that point. So congratulations to Mormon Leadership and Pew 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 for qualifying for Element 4.
Absolutely wonderful teams. Like, they definitely fought to get into that position to, be able to, be in this Element 4 with an amazing prize pool. So good, kudos to them. But with that being said, getting back to our game, it has been back and forth between these two teams, and I'm hoping that we see a max OT come from these guys. Like, we've seen TSG Gold. They've played pretty well in this in the bracket so far, winning all their Skyscraper games to my knowledge. And the XLG being an ex-pro team, they should know how to play this, playing it quite a bit. Like, it was pretty popular during stage 2 of the NAL. So this should be a huge powerhouse of players going back and forth and just trying to figure out. We are on the office defense here, trying to find what kind of push they can find themselves in. They do know that the Warden's playing here. The Warden hasn't realized that there is a drone. There might be a chance to get pick here. Gonna be trying to find something, but as I say that, two people decide to trade each other out. We get Eddie getting one onto Dami. That's the Valk, but luckily not too much utility. But Wi-Fi going down is such a huge gain for TSG Gold. That is so much utility off the board.
Yeah, a huge change up here. And as you were talking about what the results were from the previous ones, yeah, TSG did win on Skyscraper 7-3 when they played Instinct, and then 7-1 versus Mormon Leadership just yesterday in that semifinal game. So they certainly know how to win on this map. But right now, feeling like Friendship Team is working on continuing to exploit this roster. So the pieces of the puzzle that they're working on right now, good hold here from, you got the Dragon side, trying to prevent Friendship Team from making that cross over sort of that drum shrine center line of the map as they work on the horizontal over. But Hectic swinging and taking one, but Vipoa with a team kill there, unfortunate on to Hectic, leaving us in a 2v1 with Eddie. We saw Nick and Silent both win 2v1s on KAFE, so now it's Eddie's turn to see if he can win this one.
I mean, TSG Gold has the perfect opportunity to win this. He is literally one bullet from any gun. He's 3 HP. All they have to do is play together, play off each other's crosses, and if Eddie somehow clutches this, I'm starting to question what TSG is, what their game plan is here. Gonna get spotted out, so they know he's pushing from Dragon. Gonna slowly try to peek around, not over peeking, not giving him any kind of ones, holding each other's cross. If he peeks one, the other one should get an easy kill. And there we go. Right. Gonna be able to get it and keep me away from a heart attack.
Was definitely expecting opportunity there for Eddie, but like you said, 3 HP, very different scenario. Skyscraper with a little less room to maneuver, and running the Grim, Yeah, he used up most of his utility at that point. When not having the buck, not able to open up some of the additional sight lines makes it a little bit more difficult. But also, Friendship Team had already found 2 on attack. They're already past the quota. They've already started to prove a point here on this map 3. So there was the question that came out, does this game matter? This is the seeding match between these two. So if you're just joining us, welcome everyone here to Element 4. Who's going to be the number 1 seed, the winner taking that spot? The loser going to have to continue the seeding match process as the 2 lower bracket teams and qualifiers have now been identified, like we mentioned. So, you want to be done with this process, close it out, and claim that top spot. That's what they're fighting for here today. Those first 2 maps on Border and Cafe done, 1 apiece. Now, from how we see it, like a win condition for me, watching what we've seen so far from TSG, they were struggling on some of the vertical holds that we saw as part of Border and Cafe. Skyscraper doesn't have as much of that kind of a feel to it, so working on keeping the Friendship Team outside of the building. It's one of the more difficult aspects of this map in terms of, generically what's difficult about Sky. So continuing to help make that tough for a Friendship Team is going to be an important part of keeping this map together. And look at that. Appreciate the raid coming in from Jesse J. Chick. Welcome everyone here. We just went through it in the seeding match between the number 1, number 2 teams here for the qualifiers in Element 4. Thanks everyone for joining us.
And in case you were just joining, oh my gosh, Kick's gonna be able to just jump in and get an absolutely beautiful kill, bringing us into a 4v5. Gonna be just another kill coming in from Nyx. Gonna bring this into a 5v3. It seems like we're heading for a 5 or a 3-3 half. Oh my gosh, I almost said 5-5. They are gonna realize where the Deimos is coming in. Gonna try to see if they can push them away. Gonna be holding this position, not trying to over-aggress. They need to just kind of back off a little bit, hold their angles, see what they can do. But we can just see from Friendship Team that they're just still being super methodical, just trying to open up walls, trying to find any kind of free pick that they can, using their utility, not letting any of that go to waste.
Yeah, like you said, at minute 21 left in, and TSG Gold has been fighting down the man count consistently throughout this best of 3, and even if they manage to find a win, they've got to keep their players alive just a little bit longer. This time, Nick playing the Deimos and going to be potentially the spoiler here in Pantry, but no! What is going on? The siege timing, Hectic getting a free one there.
As we see, Silent being able to pick up another one onto Dami, and it just seems like it's all falling apart. Wi-Fi picks up another one. It is just up to Ray Ray here just to try to get another win for their team, but it's not going to happen. Silent going to end the round and just absolutely bring us to a beautiful 3-3 half here on Skyscraper.
Well, 3-3 half, that feels like a definite problem there for the TSG Gold side. I know we've been talking, and I'm a little bit worried because we've been talking up how good TSG has been on attack and specifically on Skyscraper, but now it is time to put up or shut up here because a 3-3 half is a significant boost to the Friendship Team going into their defensive half on Skyscraper. TSG is going to have to put up something special here, at least match that performance just to send it to overtime. To try and get a 4-2 split and win without going into overtime on Skyscraper is going to be very difficult. So all the pressure mounting for this TSG Friendship Team can't sit back and wait, but they definitely have the map side advantage going for them here as we enter the second half of the third and final map in this best of 3.
Absolutely, and for those that did just join, the first map that was played was Border. It was a very close match, 7-5 going on the way of TSG Gold, and then it was on to Cafe, which was Friendship Team's pick, which was a absolute slaughterhouse, going 7-1 for them. And now we are on our decider map, which if you're Friendship Team, like you just went 7-1, you are feeling good about yourself. You just destroy the team that you're facing right now, and you gotta have that super confidence. But you know, if you're TSG Gold, you're like, you're confident it might be down, but bringing us at least to a 3-3. It's got to bring something back for the team. Gonna try to figure out how they want to push this side. Huge extension coming out from, you know, from Friendship Team, trying to, you know, delay the push, trying to make sure they can't get into this building. Gonna just slowly work it, figure out what they can, see just exactly how much damage they can do.
Yeah, right now, watching TSG work on getting set up. They've got this standard horizontal over that they want to work on here, starting from the office exhibition side, but Friendship Team completely expecting it, right? Warden playing office. You've got Fenrir playing the exhibition side. There's an opportunity. I feel like if somebody, you know, the IGL on the TSG side maybe identified the fact that the site direct side is a bit more free with so much of the Friendship Team utility and players on the office exhibition side. It just feels like an opportunity, but right now they continue to push this main horizontal over, use up this utility, but right now not gaining a ton of ground as we're tied up 4-4, minute 28 left.
The smoke still hiding here on the house stairs. I don't think they've realized that he hasn't moved. As I say that, they're going to go ahead and pick him up. So now we are in this 4v3 situation. They are just deciding to head back, try to hold the site, hold the angles. But there's a minute left. Nick trying to see if he can go below for possibly a C4 here, but there's a minute left. They're going to have to try to push and do a lot of, you know, a lot of work just to get onto the site. They haven't even opened up Geisha Wall here. Will they be able to figure out how they want to do this? Diffuser is in the hand of Ray Ray here, trying to figure out what exactly they want to do. Still cautious that there might be somebody downstairs, but he's decided to rotate back up. Playing in this Geisha, as we see some of the utility coming out, trying to get it killed, not quite being able to get it. Ash is going to take a lot of damage here
this
as
Geisha
the execute
hold.
starts to happen, but Nick, he gets one, immediately traded out. It is just a flurry of kills going back and forth. We are now in a 2v2 situation. Friendship does have the advantage here. As I say that, a double kill coming in from Hectic. We are now in a 2v1. Doki is at only 6 HP, but look at the time. The time is so low. All he's got to do is survive. He's going to keep swinging, just trying to stay alive here. And that's what he's going to do. He's just going to sit on top and just wait out the time. Beautiful play from Friendship.
Yeah, but like you said, a beautiful play there from Friendship and Kicksrow in a 1v2 scenario. And again, we see the Friendship Team coming up and clutching one of those 1vx scenarios. And it just shows, right, the positioning the play a little bit better at that T1 level as TSG working on fighting to earn that spot, to get themselves there, but it shows just how good the Friendship Team is when you get in one of those kind of scenarios. You said it took a very long time for TSG to develop, finally clear out the office exhibition side, try and work their way over towards the T karaoke side. They couldn't even get past that, you know, we talk about the drum shrine middle of the map, and they just couldn't make the transition past. Finally gained a little bit of Geisha control, but at the loss of one of their members. And, you know, they won a couple good gunfights, putting them in that 2vx scenario, but it felt uncoordinated at the end. There needed to be something that they could push Kicks together to try to force him out, but it ended up, again, great job by him forcing a 1v1 in a 2vx scenario. Worked out great for Friendship Team, and they win it. 3-4 now, the round count as we head into round 8. And again, we talked about it heading into the start of this half. All the pressure on TSG Gold.
Absolutely. We are going to be seeing a defense over here on the office side. And trying to see exactly how they decide to try to push this. Are they going to go for a direct tear, or are they going to try to work their way over? They are going to have the Mav here, going to just Mav trick this to just try to make their life so much more easier. There is absolutely no point just trying to deal with stuff that they don't have to. Going to just do a little bit, so that way they could possibly try to get some kind of something working here.
That's right. Working upstairs, spending time trying to open up that single at the top of house stairs and need a bit of this map control. Right now, Friendship Team is just doing a great job of shutting everything down, not letting them in, not letting them gain map control in here. Even on the T Karaoke side, you still have got Cade playing, trying to block off the makeup side, holding on to drum. As you're watching all four of these TSG gold players making the horizontal over, but it's right. We're getting into halfway through this map already. It doesn't feel like they have cleared off nearly any of the utility on the site side specifically. Vipoa winning one, that's a great start, but right now it's feeling like a too little too late. Cade and Nick putting himself in a very dangerous position, hoping to catch one, and right now the best opportunity we've seen from the TSG Gold attack to try and win one here, and a double from Vipoa. Okay, now I'm feeling a little confident if you're a TSG fan going a 5-2 with a minute left in this round.
Absolutely, and weird with this 4v2, I mean, they do have these mirrors here to play behind. Hopefully, be able to get a pick or two to try to equalize, make this into a more of a winnable fight. But they do have the sight. They still have to figure out how to push in. They are going to see that they are going to try to, reposition their push, kind of go for a two-sided attack here. But do they know that that Silent here is trying to peek out, trying to get some kind of equalization here, trying to be more aggressive. He's gonna run out, but he's gonna get punished for it. In TSG Gold, they're just gonna sweep up get a round win.
All right, we said it. That was their best opportunity that we had seen so far on their attacking half, and one of the better rounds I think that we had seen in the game so far, getting their one. So we said on the typical, you need to have a 5-1 attacking half is typical, right? But Friendship Team managed a 3-3 half to start this thing off. So a lot of pressure on the TSG Gold team. Found one there on the office exhibition site. So, and normally would have expected it potentially on that tertiary site downstairs in the kitchen barbecue side, but they managed to find one here. Couple great picks early. Was a little worried about how long it was taking them to gain map control and the fact that they hadn't cleared out enough of the Friendship Team utility closer to site, but winning a couple gunfights, and in this case, I think Friendship Team maybe over-peaking and playing a little bit overconfident, right? The Cade playing in drum in an exposed position as you had three of the TSG Gold players going over. Maybe if he caught one, it was worth it, but they're playing confident, certainly because they should. They're the clear favorites here going into the second half of this map 3 and final map in this best of 3. So love to see them be dominant. I love seeing aggressive play, obviously, in the game of Siege. I'm not unhappy about it, but also, if you're a TSG Gold fan, absorb this while you can and convert those into round wins. Just hopefully find one here. Another on the attacking side to get closer to solidifying that position.
Absolutely here, gonna be seeing the Fuse coming out with a shield here. Makes me think that they're gonna try to go for more of an explosive kind of push onto the side, or some kind of execute here. Gonna be more of a quick direct take possibility, but do they realize that it might not be as safe as they might think? How they're exactly going to do it, but they are going to use the utility here to get rid of the person playing on minibar. They're probably just going to run straight into the site here. This could be a fast execute coming from them. It is. Wi-Fi is going to die to the cluster fuse charge.
Wow.
The map hole also going to be preventing a little bit of the rotations. Going to get up another kill. Dami going to be picking up one. Going to just try to smoke it off. Going to try to do some kind of execute here. Not getting a plant down quite yet. Do they know that the fuse is right here? Not going to be able to do a lot of damage. Still getting the people off that mini bar, and the plant is now going down in this 5v3. Are they going to be able to do anything about it? There's no denial. The C4 is too late.
Wow.
It is now 5v1. Eddie's going to have to try to clutch up in this huge situation, and he gets one, but immediately picked up by his teammates. What a beautiful play from TSG Gold.
That's right. That's 2 in a row here on the office exhibition side of the map. So maybe they have found a little bit of a little bit of an angle here into what friendship team has got a sort of an opening. And ask for a pause here, thinking that's a relatively quick one. As
They're
time
just going to be taking their time out, which is honestly a very good time here for friendship to be taking, figure out what's happening, what's going on, like what is the game plan that TSG Gold is bringing to the table here.
I mean, great
But
question. So, what we've seen from TSG Gold to start things off on the second half was struggling a little bit on the T karaoke side, but then I think taking advantage of opportunities that the friendship team was giving them, right? A very great T1 team, maybe having some fun with this open qualifier and earning their spot that they probably should have been invited to, assuming the timing had been a little different, they would have been invited. So earning this spot and now trying to find that number one spot. I would love to see them get to there, but TSG Gold holding on, trying to make sure that they push back a little bit. So what we've seen is them when they take advantage of friendship team opportunities, they're coming up with round wins, 2 in a row here. So the question is friendship team going to continue to give them those opportunities, and can TSG continue to exploit them to push this a little bit further in? They've already, I think, won 2 on attack. We said very good on attack. They've already passed that quota, but they need to hit 3 at least to have the option of sending this thing to overtime to put them in that position. So friendship team looking to shut them down. Everybody that has joined us, been through this whole best of 3 together, waiting with bated breath. And one of the things I also love to see there, Fuse getting a kill and using his utility, not just the shield. We were wondering when that was going to happen here on Sky, where it's so close, a lot of close quarter combat. I like the Fuse pick.
5 seconds left before insertion.
absolutely, but you're unfortunately not going to be able to see a Fuse pick this round, as TSG Gold is going to switch it off for the Dokkaebi, which is such a powerhouse of an operator. Even after that nerf, being more useful in that late round is so powerful to try to, figure out when the execute happens, where are these people hiding specifically, getting that audio cue. We have 3 C4s to hopefully help with the denial. They are going to see a bit of an extension in bringing Nick, the Tubero here, to play in Geisha to try to help prevent that, single Geisha wall from being opened up, to just deny a little bit longer. It's going to be such an interesting play, how they're going to decide to utilize it. They got the Glaz trying to see if he can find some kind of pick, but they're not going to, over peek or peek this Glaz. They know he's there. There's no reason to try it, but there might be a chance here with how they're setting up. They might try to go for a window repel in for a smoke plant, but seems like Domi's going to be rotating. Might be a change of plans now.
That's right. Minute 55 left in this round. Still 5 stacked. This one seems like in general unusual to see this all 10 players alive in the lobby with about 50% of the round left. Normally some of these engagements happening. To me, says that TSG taking a little bit more of a methodical approach to holding on and clearing out some of this, but we said that can be dangerous for this team. They can't take too long, and they've got to work on clearing out this utility. You still have the Valk with those cameras up, the Cade Claws. Tubrow still has all 3 of his Zoto canisters and all 3 of the smokes. They have got to start burning some of this utility, or TSG is going to find themselves losing this next round.
Absolutely, and as the first call comes out, they're not going to really try to act on anything, but the warning is going to go ahead and fall off with a minute left. Just go ahead and get that reinforcement up and just try to play more back to the site, and they hear that reinforcement go up and immediately take that control, which is smart on TSG Gold. But this Glaz has not moved since he's gotten on the repel. And if they don't realize this, he could be a huge pick here. They are going to try to push themselves in, hold now into top black, but they're going to have to find themselves in a position. But Hectic is able to get one onto Wi-Fi. Absolutely beautiful play, and this is when the execute could be happening here. Yings are flying out. Doki calls are happening now. Plant is going down, but do they realize where this plant is going down?
No way.
Ray Ray's gonna be able to pick up
What?
2, and the planch is down. And it's a 1v4. They didn't even realize what was happening, and Dominic's gonna clean it all up. They have secured themselves at least OT.
Wow, what a run there from TSG. Right, as we're going into that final minute of gameplay, looking like you still had a ton of friendship team, defensive utility, and defensive utility in pocket as secondary gadgets. It looked like that was going to be very tough for TSG Gold to get something going. They continue to surprise us and continue to play as a team that belongs here in Element 4, coming up with another round win, and that is, as the Observer shows us, 3 in a row for TSG on attack on Skyscraper against this XLG team, which is definitely saying something. I know we're not in not in the NAL Pro League right now, but still to be able to put up those numbers against this team is incredibly respectable, and the fact that both of these teams you get the opportunity to play here in the seeding for Element 4 has been a fantastic weekend. Congrats to everybody that's had a chance to play. We're so close now. TSG Gold is on match point, map point, final point, and in the number 1 seed in the Element 4 Open Qualifier number 1 point. This is it.
5 seconds to go.
Absolutely, as you were saying, we are on map, series, and seeding qualifying points. I say qualifying, but they both have qualified, but qualified for first specifically. And it's absolutely to see this and to think we started with a 3-3-half, and we are now at 6-4. Friendship want to be able to do anything. They're going to have to bring 2 rounds back to back to be able to bring anything back in. They are going to be switching up where they are going for a full site rotation. They are now on the barbecue and kitchen site. Kind of had to think about that for a second. And we are going to see just a little bit of a spray. Going to tag up Dommy. He's not phased by it at all. Going to be trying to figure out how to deal with this frost. And, you know, Kicks here playing a lot more aggro than normal, trying to find some kind of advantage for his team. And we see that all of them are starting to get like a little bit of damage here and there, and trying to figure out what they can do to bring themselves into this round.
I love seeing the aggro play from this team, right? It's one of the things that we talked about early on in this match on board. It was going to be one of the things that helped the French's team win against TSG Gold, was playing aggressive, taking them out, upsetting this team, and trying to just put pressure on them, and that's when they would collapse. They've slowed down a little bit. I love the fact that Friendship team taking a little bit more of an aggressive approach, but that is Silent going down, playing that shrine deployable shield, and this is a ton of map control that's important gained here. And it is the downstairs first floor site, kitchen barbecue, probably the best opportunity that the attackers have, again, on a map that they should be defensive sided. TSG Gold has absolutely shown up today.
Absolutely, and Silent there almost being able to get that opening pick for his team, downing the downing the blank watch. It's blank in my mind who the operator is. No, man, jeez. It's been a while since I've seen the operator played, but unfortunately is picked off, and now we're in that 5v4, and they're just going to play a little bit more passively, trying to play more towards the site, not trying to get too aggro here, but if they want a way back into this round, they're going to have to find a kill, and they're going to have to find it before this execute decides to happen. And there's only 30 seconds left, and this execute could happen relatively quickly here, trying to push into this pantry position. They know someone's going to be playing it, flashing it out, trying to nade it, but Kicks finds one, Wi-Fi finds another,
What?
Wi-Fi finds a second. They found the kills that they were needing to get themselves back in this round. We're in a 4v1. They know he's in pantry. Are they going to be able to get the kill, or are they just going to wait out the clock? Zonky going to pick up one for his effort, but he's not going to be able to find another as Eddie takes him out. What a beautiful play. Oh.
Wow.
It was just
All
a flurry of kills.
falling apart there for TSG at the end. Oh, unfortunate there. I mean, like we said, best opportunity downstairs in the kitchen barbecue, and coming into that, getting a couple of the early picks, looking like they had enough map control, taking down the Warden, so you had the opportunity for the utility. Uh, and then just to have it fall apart like that at the very end, definitely disheartening there for the TSG Gold team, but an opportunity for friendship. The good news is they had
Attackers need to locate
two
and defuse the bomb.
opportunities to do it, right? Once back on round 11, and now on the final round of regulation, TSG continuing on this match point scenario. So can they win here, or is friendship team going to send this one to overtime? Just about 3 more minutes to figure out which one of those two it's going to be. From the defensive side, they're going to lean into this plant denial with smoke and the echo, and we've not seen a lot of echo come out here in this game, so it's sort of changing up the strategy a little bit, but it is back to definitely the favored upstairs site, T Karaoke. So
5 seconds
TSG's
left
got their
before
work cut
insertion.
out for them if they want to try and avoid overtime.
Absolutely, and
objective is to
it's
locate a bomb
definitely
and
going to be a hard task for them. And I don't know about you, but I've been seeing Echo played a lot more, which doesn't really make sense. He's being played as a roaming operator that I've seen, at least not in competitive play, that is. But it's interesting to see him play it a lot more in any kind of competitive sense, whether that be ranked or actual comp. But that being said, they are gonna try to take over this office side like they have been trying to do this most of this time here. Get a little bit of that ghost pressure, maybe get a pick or two, and then rotate their efforts, trying to find another thing. But Wi-Fi on the Echo, not gonna stay around for too long. Just gonna go ahead and rotate back to the site and try to keep himself alive. And we have Nick lurking around, seeing if he could possibly get somebody down here in the bottom of house.
That's right. Lurking, waiting here. Again, from the TSG Gold attack perspective, focused mostly over on the exhibition office side, but just trying to get in the building again. They're just struggling right there. Right now, the Ace, the only one inside the building with more than a minute gone in this round. Zonky's going to find one. Silent going to answer back very quickly on the top frag from the TSG side. That's Vipoa going down. Unfortunate, but Dami did take Silent down, leaving Eddie, Nick, and Wi-Fi as the last 3 left alive on this match point. We saw the man advantage squandered by TSG Gold previously, so it is not a guarantee at this point. There's still plenty of work for these 4 attackers to do. Still have got one more Dokubi call left in, one more Yin Candela, and one more EMP from Thatcher. So it's just a little bit of offensive utility. Got to take out 3 of these defenders left.
Absolutely, and with a minute left, they're gonna have to try to act fast. And as you can see, they are rotating to try to push themselves out towards that, Geisha side here, trying to get some kind of a pinch or push here. Seems like they know what they want to try to, attack here, but not having quite an idea. They still have 3 drones that they could, try to figure out, or actually 2 active drones that they can move around and try to figure out where exactly they're pushing from. Gonna get spotted by a cam. They got 30 seconds, and they're outside the map again. They have to fight their way back in on a side that, that they don't have any kind of info on. Are they going to be able to figure this out with 20 seconds left? And Doki has worked themselves into the site, but do they know that once playing on the bomb chassis, the fire is going off?
Oh, he dodges it.
It's going off.
15 seconds to
Doesn't
go.
quite get hit by the smoke, and so a plant attempt is going to go down. All they got to do is really try to cover this. Gonna start taking some damage, just gonna tank it. Wi-Fi gets one, Wi-Fi gets another. We're now in a 2v2, but we are in a post plant. The plant was successful. All they have to do is try to hold here. Echo still has his cams that he can move around, try to figure out where these attackers are playing in hopes that they can try to equalize. They know one's playing here in drum, but Dami's gonna get one, and he's gonna get both. TSG absolutely making sure that there is no need for an OT, winning Skyscraper in a beautiful 7-5 fashion, just like they did with Border.
7-5 victory. TSG avoids OT, like you called it out, taking down the friendship team in what was, like we said, a seeding match here between these 2 fantastic teams. And what a map, what a round it was. Love the fact that the community casters like the Siege Double Shot and thank you for joining me, V, filling in for Whiskey Glitter today on this one, because it has been a great match, and our availability to cast has been just great. We had that opportunity. So thanks everyone for joining us. But obviously, big GGs there to the TSG Gold team for taking down Friendship Team took all 3 maps, but they did it in the end, not needing that overtime.
Absolutely. It was a beautiful, hard fought victory coming out from TSG Gold and really digging in their nails on that attack of half that they really needed, showing that, hey, you guys might have been a T1 team, but now you're in our territory. You're in our rules. So we can definitely give you a nice little bite if you try to come at us. And it was definitely a beautiful play.
And I know I said it earlier during the broadcast, but if you were just joining us and were wondering why did the XLG team, this T1 team, not have an invite into Element 4, just a little bit of timing. T1 teams and T1 players not allowed into Element 4 as it is an amateur T2 league. So, but with the change up, with them not being part of a T1 roster anymore, they were allowed to fight their way through the qualifier and earned their spot. So both of these teams qualified in to Element 4, but it is TSG coming out on top in this match. Well, that is about the end of the evening for us. There's a couple more seeding games that are going to be happening later on today as we finish out the bracket. But for the most part, all 4 of those teams now identified. We know that TSG Gold and the Friendship Team obviously qualifying out of the upper bracket. From the lower bracket, the Mormon Leadership and Pew 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 are the 2 lower bracket teams qualified here. So those are your 4 from Element 4 Qualifier 1. The second qualifier taking place next Friday to close out the Thanksgiving weekend for another 3 days of Element 4 action. So definitely keep an eye out on X for all of the streams that are going to be happening for the community casters covering that. Hopefully here on the Siege Double Shot as well. But it's been a great evening. Thank you for filling in for Whiskey Glitter. Much appreciated.
Thank you so much for this amazing opportunity that you've given me.
That's right. So I'm going to close out the stream, but again, appreciate everybody joining us for all the follows, subscriptions, and support that the community has given us, and especially to Whiskey Glitter as he was struggling through this time. So it is very much appreciated. It does not go unnoticed. And if you need any help, the community is here for you as well. So appreciate everybody being here. But that is it for us the evening. And I know as Glitter was here, he would say, as the lights start to dim and the jukebox starts to sing closing time, as always, my friends, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
You ain't about it. Greg, you on it.